here for? What are we here for? Absolutely nothing. Oh, that was it.
We get an extra bottle. We go get an extra bottle. Take a picture.
I heard it sounds like
is everybody here? Okay. Can I have your undivided, thank you, Jim. Undivided attention. It is so nice to have the family, extended family. And
the adopted ones like Lee.
Maybe, well, I won't go there, Jess, so we'll just leave that. Thanks for coming, Jess. We're here for Mom and Dad's 60th, and if you don't know, I started planning this several months ago with Susan and Annalie, and we got it all together, at least as good as we could. But I wanted to, for Mom and Dad's 60th, I wanted to take a moment to read a little something and to show you a little something. This was taken out of the Summerside Journal-Pioneer in November of '51, which is, of course, they got married in November 7th, '51. And I don't know who the lady is that wrote it because her name's not here. But with the length of the article, I would say that if anybody remembers Mom's dad, I would say he had a good, or Annie maybe, her mother, had a good relationship with this lady to get an article this long in it. Anyway, a pretty fall wedding was solemnized at the St. Mary's Anglican Church in Summerside. Can you hear this, Dad? Okay? Can you hear me? Okay. At St. Mary's Anglican Church in Summerside on Wednesday afternoon, November 7th, at 4 o'clock, when Ruby Alice Key, daughter of Mrs. and Mr. George Key, and William Warshik, son of Mr. Michael Warshik, and the late Mrs. Warshik of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, were united in marriage by the bride's cousin, Reverend L.A. Dignan. If you remember that, Mom, of course, of Port Hill, assisted by then, I guess it'd be Venerable Archdeacon G.R. Harrison in a double-ring ceremony. The church was attractively decorated with autumn flowers. Mr. Everett Penwarden, organist, was in charge of the wedding music and accompanied by the church choir in singing "The Voice That Breathed O'er Eden," previous to the bridal party entering the church, and "Oh Perfect Love" during the signing of the register. The bride giver, in marriage by her father, was charming in a floor-length gown of white Duchess slipper satin with a fitted bodice, high lace neckline, and long sleeves tapered over the wrist.
Really?
The bouffant skirt featured 3 center panels of lace inserts, from which 3 tiers of lace extended to the back, forming a bustle effect over the hips, which fell gracefully into the folds, ending in the long train.
You trollop, you!
There's more. Her full-length veil of French illusion with Saturn scroll at the ends fell from a crown headdress of seed pearls and rhinestones. She carried a shower bouquet of better time roses. Her only ornament was a rhinestone necklace and earrings, a gift of the groom. Mrs. Richard Rogerson, which is Aunt Rena, if you don't know, but sister of the bride, as matron of honor, wore a gown of shell pink moire taffeta. I hope I say it. Taffeta? What is it? Taffeta? I'm married. And two girls know.
Damn it, I'm me.
Okay, well anyway, it was one of those. Let me tell you that. Okay, they just didn't have too many of them. I'll beat you out back there. I'll tell you that. Anyway, fashioned similarly to that of the brides, with a headdress of matching pearl coronet with a chapel veil and in-atching mitts. What the hell's What's that? I don't know what the in-atching mitts.
You were mitts?
Yeah, well, apparently according to this.
Mitts are
In
good.
matching mitts?
No, it said in-atching, it says here.
I
I think it
read
means
Saturday
matching. I
Night
think the lady
Come
that
on,
wrote
once.
this had a few drinks, because I'll tell you why later.
Or she was
But
on
anyway.
Saturday Night.
She carried
Or
a
the
bouquet
lady.
after the party. She carried a bouquet, Aunt Rena carried a bouquet of Queen Elizabeth yellow roses. The bridesmaids were Miss Ruby Warshick of Toronto, sister of the groom, and Mrs. George Key Jr., sister-in-law of the bride. Miss Warshick wore a strapless gown of daffodil yellow to fade with matching jacket, mitts, and course must have been cold in summertime. Mitts and corresponding sheared cord headdress with a chapel veil. She carried a bouquet of Briarcliff roses.
Good thing.
Mrs. Key was attired in orchid nylon taffeta
There we go.
on the same lines as Miss Warshick's, and she carried a bouquet of perfect yellow roses as well. Is this bringing back memories?
Why is she describing
No?
everyone's
Okay.
dress?
Yeah, because this is the paper in 51.
1951.
This
Mr.
is the news.
There's no
Mr.
picture.
Ross
Couldn't
McKenzie
look at a picture.
was groomsman, and LAC Alan Gordon and LAC Hubert Forrestal were the ushers. Mrs. Key, excuse me,
Oh,
turn
Jim.
off all cell phones, please. Mrs. Key chose for her daughter's wedding. That was nice of you. Did we see that on TV on that wedding show that you watched, Kathy? Okay. Mrs. Key chose for her daughter's wedding a gown of navy crepe with velvet trim and black and pink accessories.
Wow.
Her corsage was of Briarcliff roses. Following the ceremony, a reception for the 65 guests, boy, you guys were cheap, was held at Birch Hill Tourist Lodge, where the bride's table, with its attractive arrangement of autumn flowers and lighted tapers, was centered with a 3-tiered wedding cake topped with a wedding bill under an arch. You remember that? Oh yeah, okay, well, whatever. The bride's gifts to her attendants were earrings, while the groom's gifts to the groomsmen and ushers were billfolds. And who made them?
Dad, you
yes.
made them? Did Dad
I'm
make
going to
them?
guess that you
Dad,
probably
did you
made
make
them,
those
Dad.
billfolds?
I don't know.
Wallets? Did you make wallets,
Yeah.
Dad, for your groomspeople? Groomsmen?
Yeah, probably. The happy couple left on a honeymoon trip throughout the Maritimes. Whoop-dee!
Yes, me! Here I got
This is my grandmother, mom's mom would say, whoop-dee! Throughout the Maritimes, the bride traveling in a suit of rust, gabardine,
Yes, no wrinkles. You got it.
with tan accessories.
Is that like
Her
Gore-Tex?
corsage was a mauve orchid. On return, they will reside in Summerside, where the groom is a member of the RCAF and the bride a valued employee of the Robert Simpson Eastern Division in Summerside.
Awesome.
Is that Simpson Sears or Simpson?
Why did you tour the Maritimes? You're from the Maritimes.
Yes,
Well,
boy,
because
you're
that's
getting
all we
no
can
money.
afford.
Because then you won't get lost.
Okay,
All those
you
roses.
can ask the
we
questions
put
at
it
the
all-
table.
Yes.
You can ask the question at the table. Prior to her marriage, the bride was guest of honor at 2 miscellaneous showers where she received many gifts.
Miscellaneous
Amongst the
showers.
out-of-town guests were Mrs. Robert Buckle of Saskatoon, Miss Ruby Warshick of Toronto, Mr. and Mrs. C.C. Arts, that's her Arts, and son Douglas, Miss Dorothy Arts of Halifax, Miss Joan Stewart, Miss Gertrude Murphy, Mr. and Mrs. John Mustard,
Oh,
Her
who
mustard.
did it,
Lots of
who
mustard?
did it in the library with the
candles
Sure
there.
Mustard, yeah.
What?
And Mrs. Shirley Murphy of Charlottetown, Mr. and Mrs. Wilford Drake of Millview, Mrs. Percy Kinch, and Mrs. Kay Collins of Alberton,
Who wrote this article?
Mrs. L.A. Dignan, Port Hill, Mr. and Mrs. Edgar MacArthur of Charlottetown. End of the story. I have a copy for all family members, okay,
Not one.
including yourself. of this, and we have a copy of their wedding announcement as well that we placed, Kathy and I placed in one of the local newspapers in Halifax and in the Journal Pioneer, which we will distribute. But there's more. It is the 60th. This is the copy of their original marriage certificate
Oh.
from Prince Edward Island. I'll just be very careful, please, everybody that passes them around. Be very careful.
don't want to happen to it?
I don't want them to break. Some of them. Dad, Mom, this is a copy of Dad's Legion in Dartmouth. Congratulatory plaque from Psalm Branch 31, where you used to be a member, Dad. Right there. We have a copy here of the Royal Canadian Legion Dominion Command out of Ottawa, who is the Patricia Varga is the Dominion President. We have a copy of that for you.
I was going to move, now I can't.
From the Consular General of the Netherlands, as a thank you for your part in the Dutch Liberation Forces, with his official seal on it right here, awarded November the 1st, and from Guido Keppel, who's the honorary consul of the Kingdom of Netherlands, based in Halifax.
Halifax has everything, including the Kingdom of Netherlands.
We have one here from
We got Guido.
the Corporation of the City of St. Catharines, which I think is the mayor of St. Catharines.
Bob, did you look at those? Mullen? No?
Yeah, McMullen. We have a congratulatory, and I'm not going to read all the messages, okay? So
Make sure Bob sees
from the, oh yeah, hopefully they go around here. From the Niagara region, we have from Gary Burrows, who's the chair of the Niagara region. Congratulations on your 60th.
Oh my gosh.
We got celebrities? They come to
Yeah.
Are you kidding? To Bill and Ruby on their 60th. Jim Bradley, the member of Provincial Parliament for you in St. Catharines, has sent a beautiful certificate right there.
Same as our 50th. Wow.
Must be election year. This is somebody, Mom, that you would appreciate. I contacted him to get everybody's, how to get through to everybody to make sure it was here. And this particular member of Parliament really appreciated Dad's efforts, especially with the Juno Beach Center. And this is from Peter Stauffer, who's a member of Parliament for Sackville, Eastern Passage.
What party? What party?
NDP in Nova Scotia.
No, NDP.
NDP.
What is that?
Very big. He's a Veterans Affairs Clinic critic. We have here also Rick Dykstra, the Member of Parliament for St. Catharines. Well,
What party? What party? What party?
He likes
Beat
to
George.
Tory's good.
all these things.
Just be careful.
Just getting my cedar chick.
Okay, this one is already fallen apart. Somebody, Sue or Lee, can help with this one. It's from Dalton McGuinty. Dalton McGuinty, the Premier of the province of Ontario.
Laura's the best. Laura is, don't forget, Susie Homemaker and Miss Artistic one there. She'll get it
Mom
together.
and Dad? From Stephen, not Steve, Harper, the Prime Minister of Canada.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
What party?
Thank you, taxpayers.
Republican, Jim.
Brian, this is a lot of work you went to for
I
these.
know, it is a lot of work. A lot of you have no idea how much time.
The Prime Minister of Canada, right there.
Miss Handy Maker, you just lost.
From, be very careful, please, with these. We already smashed them on the way up. From the Governor General of Canada, David Johnston. Happy 60th anniversary from the Governor General of Canada. And finally, and I want to read this one. It comes
directly from